Welcome to another QTip. In today's episode, we'll discuss FCC REPACK deadlines. What, when, where, why, how. Let's jump right in. FCC deadlines. There are a few REPACK deadlines, dates specifically, that you need to know. Depending on the classification of your TV station, you may have different dates that you need to remember. First thing to know is that there's a distinction between full power stations and low power LPTV stations when we're talking about REPACK. Obviously, if you've been paying attention so far with what's been going on, you'll know that these two are treated differently in different scenarios, for better or for worse. Full powers started REPACK first, so naturally they have the first deadlines coming up. LPTV deadlines come after that. A little bit of background on this, if you're curious, there were so many full power stations as part of REPACK that they ended up giving phase assignments to the full power stations, so that way they could stagger the progress and you wouldn't end up with a hockey stick effect and the industry wouldn't be overloaded with work at the very last minute, because we all like to procrastinate. Some stations haven't even started with their transitions yet. I'll tell you why that's a terrible idea in just a bit. But first, let's start with phase 0 through 5 stations. If you're in phase 0 through 5, your first deadline coming up is October 8th, 2021. That's this year. That is the last day you get to submit invoices to the FCC for reimbursement. Now, you can work after that, work can commence after that, but any invoices that you expect to get reimbursed cannot be submitted after that date. Any invoices submitted up until that day will be processed just like normal. If you're in phases 6 through 10, your invoice submittal deadline is March 22nd, 2022, so next year. And again, you have all the way up until that date to submit invoices. LPTVs have until September 5th, 2022 to submit their invoices for reimbursement. Same thing there, all the way up until the end. It's important to note that these deadlines are put in place so that the FCC and the stations alike will have enough time to reconcile what's been reimbursed, discover any issues, remediate, and close out the accounts. These steps are what the FCC calls their closeout procedures. They expect these procedures to take until July 3rd, 2023, which is why their first deadlines are later this year. After that day, any remaining funds that have not been distributed to the stations as part of REPACK reimbursements will be deposited into the U.S. Treasury, which means they get to keep the money. With deadlines coming up, you may be tempted to wait a little bit longer or continue through the process at a slower pace, I guess, thinking you have up until the end. And technically you do have up until the end to submit invoices, but we don't advise it. And here's why. Yes, it is tedious. Yes, you may want to pull your hair out at times, but almost all expenses related to getting you through the REPACK are reimbursable. So there's no reason to wait. You should do it now. In fact, there is a reason to not wait, and I'll tell you what that is. There may not be any money near the end of the project. Right now, there seems to be enough money to go around, which is great news, but keep in mind there are a lot of folks who are procrastinating and are waiting until their structurals come back. They're waiting until they can decide on what transmitters to purchase. They're waiting until maybe they have attorney issues or legal issues that they're going to rack up those expenses, and they haven't even started submitting invoices. If you wait until the structurals come back, what if you need mods? What if you need a whole new tower? What if your tower riggers wait to submit their invoices to hang their new antennas and they're booked up until the very end because everybody's waiting for the end? We would hate for any station to hold off on submitting invoices for so long that by the time they do, there may not be money left, or there isn't any money left. Also to note, in the background, there are discussions about requesting extensions to these invoice submittal deadlines, similar to the original October 15, 2019 deadline that was extended by a month. While there may be hope for that, don't count on it. Plan ahead, start with your deadline date and work your way backwards with what work is remaining on the project. Keep in mind that your COPs will take about a month or so to get all of that put together before the deadline, and that ensures that you still have time to catch any missing invoices and submit those for reimbursement. If you have any questions, go to www.repack.tv and give us a call directly. The Q stands for quality behind the scenes. See you later.